How sweet to be an idiot.
Hey! Yep, Charlamagne the God here.
Andrew Schulz here.
We are the Brilliant Idiots. Another week of our potentially dangerous rhetoric. I guess politically incorrect views. Depend who you ask.
Yeah. I guess it depends who you ask. For us, it's not incorrect.
Yeah, it's not incorrect for us. This is actually what we think and what we feel.
So if you disagree, it's politically incorrect.
Yeah, if you're new to this show, what you need to realize is the disclaimer, Brilliant Idiots, protects us from anything. Okay? Because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Okay? Unless you think we know what the fuck we're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay, but thank you to everybody that has been subscribing. And
he did it.
What?
He did it.
What'd I do?
You pronounced subscribing right.
Oh, okay. Subscribing.
People are tweeting now, subscribe.
Listen, I know how to pronounce the word.
They're like, yo, I just subscribed, and they capitalize the V to let you know.
I just have brain farts every now and then.
Brain farts?
Yes.
Okay.
So thank you to everybody that's subscribed and ranked to Brilliant Idiots.
He's back to the V, but it's all good.
Yeah, whatever. It happens. We appreciate y'all, everybody that's been listening on SoundCloud. Yeah. And we have a guest this week.
And iTunes. Thank you guys for subscribing. Yeah.
iTunes and SoundCloud. And we have a guest this week, Schulz.
Yeah. Kaytlin Bailey is here. She's a comedian.
You told me she was a feminist.
She is a feminist. But are you a feminist? Yeah.
I mean, sure.
But not. I
wanted a feminist.
Trust me, this is a feminist. But here's the thing. I've never seen Kaytlin perform. So, but I did do a podcast with her called the Race Wars Podcast at Stand Up Labs. Very funny podcast.
Who
you guys should check out that.
Sherrod Small.
Sherrod Small is
he's not really black, but I understand.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. His color is there.
Yeah, he's
green on him.
He's black, but he ain't nigga black. That's the difference.
I like how you looked at Dwayne to see if it was okay. You dropped the N-bomb and looked at the other black guy in the room like, Dwayne, are we on this together?
There's only 2 black guys in the room, and it's about 1, 2, 3, 4 white people. So you all
just the way we like it.
Yeah, just gotta look at the other black guy to make sure I didn't offend. Like, why would you do that in front of everybody?
Why would you embarrass us? Yeah. Charlamagne.
Okay, but Race Wars.
Anyway, so doing Race Wars, and she has some really great commentary. Actually, the thing that struck me is you had this opinion on rape, actually.
Okay.
And it was, I don't want to exactly, I don't want to, basically mislead the people in terms of what you were saying, but you were saying.
Well, let her
say it.
Yeah, you go.
So I think that part of the problem is that we tell women how to feel a lot.
Okay.
And one of the things that we say is like, rape is one of the worst things that can ever happen to you, and it will ruin your life, and you've got to go to counseling, and you'll probably cry every time you have sex after that, and it's like the worst thing that ever happened to anybody. And we don't tell victims of mugging that. It's not like if you get mugged, you've got to
You're comparing a mugging to a rape?
They're both assaults. And so I think...
No, it's the difference between stealing a pocketbook and stealing some pussy.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What are you talking about?
So, we used to believe that women were only as valuable as their sexual history, right? Like, virgins are more valuable than whores, right? Chaste wives are more valuable than wives that cheat on their husbands or whatever. And so we really put a lot of emphasis on women's sexuality and chastity, and that's who they were as a person. That was their primary identity. The feminist movement took a lot of that away. We said, no, you can have sex with as many people as you want, and that's your choice, and that doesn't make you less of a person. I really believe that. I think that my sexual history doesn't really have a huge impact on who my value as a person. So
I believe that.
Right. So I'm not going to empower a rapist if a sexual assault can be a lot of different things. It can be really violent. It can be not that violent. But if we tell women this is the absolute worst thing that could ever happen to you, I think we're just adding on psychological pain, where if we said, yeah, this is a thing that can happen, and you might have flashbacks in the same way that a mugging victim might have flashbacks, but this doesn't have to ruin your life. It's as bad as you think it is. And if we give women the power to determine how they feel about that experience, rather than telling them how to feel about it.
You make up some good points. All right, first of all, to your statement about women and the value we place on body counts, I do believe that hoes make the best housewives. But the reason I say that is because I do want a woman that has been through something.
Sure.
I want a woman that has had some sexual experience. She's lived, as the gay community says. So then she's probably ready to settle down because she's tired of getting ran through.
Sure.
I do believe that. But that doesn't make the hoeing right. You know, just because you accept it doesn't make it right.
I'm not putting a value judgment. I self-identify.
Let's get away from the hoeing. Let's talk about the rape.
Yeah, let's talk about the rape.
Because that was the thing that shocked me. I basically got out of it.
First of all, have you ever been raped?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Okay. I digress.
And you felt shamed.
Absolutely. I felt shamed for a lot of different reasons. Okay. I've had a lot of different sexual experiences. I self-identify as like a promiscuous person that sort of owned a lot of my sexual choices. Mm-hmm. But
Were you a hoe?
Yes.
Okay.
So
and the definition of society's definition of hoe.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Okay. But I mean, that doesn't.
A lot of cocks.
Yeah. Do you want more graphic details? Yes, do you want to get into what it was like with the lighting or what I was wearing? Or maybe I could provide you some pictures,
like,
Andrew.
On a scale of 1 to Kardashian,
I don't think Kim's a hoe. I think Kim gets the worst reputation for being a hoe. I don't think she's a hoe.
I am not very familiar with Kim's sexual history.
So you were sexually active,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
And then I didn't know that you got raped. So this is
and we don't have to dwell on the details.
That question.
Man, I don't know. She has all these great opinions on it. I didn't know it came from personal experience.
First of all, let's be clear about one thing.
Sure.
You can only have an opinion about rape, and such a strong opinion, if you've been raped. Nobody will take you serious.
I have a lot of opinions on black people.
But you've dated a black girl.
No one takes those opinions seriously.
That's true. That's another thing. So. I do occupy the idiot.
This is interesting.
Sure. So like the joke that I tell about the subject is
there's a joke about rape. This should be good.
Well, I'm allowed to tell jokes on rape, just like you're allowed to use the N-word. It's like a thing.
That's her N-word. That's her N-word.
Okay,
go.
Oh, cool. Like race wars.
No prejudice zone.
How many podcasts do I do where I say the word nigger before I get labeled a racist? Like it's not. As a Southern woman, I feel this like weird visceral anxiety about it. Like on Race Wars, we toss it around, but it's always within the context of like a quote.
Or South Carolina.
Oh, I went to the College of Charleston.
Whoa! I was born in Charleston.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where about?
I was born in Charleston, and I was raised in a small town called Monk's Corner.
Monk's Corner.
Yeah,
I dated a guy from Monk's Corner.
In Charleston and Columbia.
All right, that's awesome.
You dated a guy from Monk's Corner?
Yeah.
What was his name?
I
bet you I know the population.
I don't know. I know the population is like 20 people.
Was he black?
No.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I don't know.
So maybe you didn't. Maybe you guys didn't hang. So it's like the joke that I do is like, look, people are always telling me like rape and murder are moral equivalents, right? Like rapists and murderers, they should all be thrown in jail and raped every day until they're murdered. That's the best thing. And I'm like, I feel like that used to be true back when we immediately murdered women right after they admitted to being raped. But now that I live in this country, oh yeah, absolutely, it still happens in places like Afghanistan and India.
Yeah, but not here.
No, not here.
Why would you murder me because I got raped?
Well, no, women, not you. You're not. It doesn't matter how many people you have sex with.
For women, why would I?
The idea is that if she put herself in a position where she was raped, that it was partially her fault, and now that she's no longer marriageable, no longer valuable. She's now a burden on the family, whether it's her husband's family or her father's family. Like she's no longer valuable. And that's the thing that bothers me about the discussion about rape is I feel like a lot of feminists really want to be on the side of women, but we end up with this paternalistic legislation where we're like, we have to protect women from the outside world. And I'm like, we're adults. We're autonomous people that can go and make choices. Stop telling me how to feel about things. And
it bothers me when they say that women put themselves in positions to be raped. I don't. What if I'm just walking down the street to go to Starbucks to get a latte and somebody grabs me?
Well, that's not how most rapes happen. Most rape, and that's the other problem I have about the conversation of rape is that we paint this black and white picture where all rapists are strangers that jump out of the bushes with knives. And instead, it's
date rapes.
Yeah, it's your neighbor or the guy that you were sort of attracted to that took you out on a date, and then like
family member,
and things got complicated. And it's like it's so there's the realm, the spread of what a rape looks like is so diverse. I think to talk about what rapists are or how rape victims feel is kind of like talking like what black people are or how they feel. Like it's too diverse. It's so complicated and it's so unique to every individual.
Acting like what people are wearing. This is what I don't like. The idea that you could wear something that means that you're asking for it.
Right.
I don't think rape is ever about an overwhelming, and I shouldn't say ever, but not about overwhelming desire. It's about a power thing.
Yes.
I agree.
Right? So there's no There is no, oh my God, that she was wearing a short skirt. I couldn't help myself. I'm going to rape her. You're a fucking rapist walking around like a rapist, and you want to have power over someone. So there is no thing about asking for it. Like that has nothing to do with it, no matter what a girl wears.
But that plays into this mythology that we have about women are the gatekeepers of sex, and it's not men's job to control themselves. It's women's job to shut that down. And so, like, the idea that a woman is asking for it comes from that assumption.
But you are the gatekeepers of sex.
Yeah, you are.
Are we?
Yes, absolutely. We can't have sex with you unless you allow us to have sex with us.
Unless you are a rapist.
Right. Well, yeah, unless you're a rapist.
Unless you rape us, exactly.
But I mean,
unless I'm a rapist. Like, it's all up to you. Like, a real man, not a rapist, is going to court you and talk to you and dialogue with you and hope that you decide to bless me with some vagina.
Sure.
A rapist is just going to take it.
Maybe, or
but either way, you're still a gatekeeper. Even if he decides to take it, he is breaking through the gate. You're still the gatekeeper.
I mean,
no, because she never willingly she doesn't want to give it to him.
Don't matter if she willingly wants to or not. He has to get in her. She has the entrance.
Okay,
do you know what I mean? You're the security
guard.
Terms,
I feel you.
You know, so it's like you have to be the gatekeeper because you're what is inside.
I guess what I'm talking about is this idea of judgment, right? So like I think of two people deciding to have sex. It's like two adults consenting to an activity, like two people splitting a pizza, right? Talking about maybe what toppings they like, how they like their pizza, having a conversation, rather than thinking of it as like a game with a winner and a loser and a gatekeeper and somebody. So like if you set these roles up in society where it's always the men's job to try to convince women to have sex and they're allowed to lie or misrepresent or like create situations or like buy women shots to get them to a place where they're going to be less resistant. If you set that up and then it's the women's job. That's the thing that I kind of have a problem. Right. Running game is it turns women into objects to be won, or it takes away a little bit of their humanity.
You want sexual agency. You want to be able to go up to a dude and go, I choose you.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what happens.
Hold on.
We do that.
They don't. I really think that you don't like us in the way that we like you. I think it takes longer for you to decide that you want to sleep with us than it takes for us to decide if we want to sleep with you.
I think that's true. And
if it takes longer, we have to court you until you get to the point where you decide that you want us.
Right. But then when I decide that I want sex, like, and I don't want to play the role of
then you just go sex
anymore.
And then point at your vagina and then we have sex.
And then it just magically happens.
Now listen, I do agree with you that men, we objectify women as soon as we see them.
I mean, and
immediately.
Sure.
Like,
but is that wrong?
Because I'm not going to front. I walked in here, I gave you £1. I noticed your breasts. I go, oh, I'd fuck her. Like, I objectified you immediately off top.
And I noticed your sweatpants, and I said I wouldn't fuck that dude. I mean, like, it goes both ways, right?
I don't have a print on. But seriously, that's wrong that we objectify women. We treat women like sneakers.
No, hold on. Why is that wrong? What I want to know is why is that wrong? Why is what I feel naturally a natural attraction to a woman?
It's wrong for us to objectify.
It's really difficult to separate like nature from nurture in this case, right? Because there totally are societies that have like structured. The whole sexual political game is really, really different, right? So like,
but explain to me why something that's natural, like for example, I see a woman and I go, I think that woman is beautiful. I want to sleep with her. I think what's happening now in society is dudes are so afraid in America. They're so afraid of what is natural to them, which is I see her. I think she's beautiful. They think, oh, am I being rapey? No. Thinking a woman's beautiful because she's wearing a short skirt or she looks beautiful or something like that is not rapey. Raping a woman is rapey.
Right. But wanting to have sex with somebody is not the same thing as objectifying them. Right? It's absolutely not. Like, but what happens
if that's
is like
all you look at them as, it is objectifying them.
But you don't know anything else. I don't know her name.
But when you talk about when you talk
age,
about game, right? And it's just it's sort of like a gender.
I just went name and age.
Name and age. Name, age, waist to hip ratio.
Annie and I'm 40.
What nail polish are you wearing? What is it? What are you into? But like, this idea,
no personality, nothing came into my head right there.
When you talk about women as gatekeepers and men as like the objective is to break down the gate, and you allow things like game and you're like because when you have objective driven actions towards getting pussy, the same thing with like an agendaed speaker, right? When you listen to a pundit on TV and you know that their paycheck comes from something and they're driving the whole conversation to this one goal. That is the kind of mentality that leads to this kind of shit. Like, I'm not saying that every man that objectifies women is a rapist or a mass murderer, but this.
Hold on, you're pointing at the guy
I'm sorry.
in California. What was this loser's name?
Well, it doesn't matter what his name was. He was the fucking virgin. Like,
fuck him. I don't want to give him no fame.
Basically, the guy who went on the killing spree in California.
Yeah, because he couldn't get no pussy.
Right, and his manifesto was about he felt very entitled to sex with women, and he felt, and his whole world was that agenda driven, like, how do I get pussy? How do I get pussy? How do I get pussy? And I'm like, well, pussy isn't like this separate thing from the woman. Like, they're not objects to collect. Right?
That's the first thing I say when I heard this.
I mean, I've had anonymous sex and it's great. Like, I don't necessarily believe that like you have to be in a relationship or blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't believe any of that shit. I think that you can have no strings attached sex and still be two people that are coming together and connecting in a way that isn't like object agent. Like, don't take my agency away because you just want to fuck me.
Real quick about this, though. Okay. Real quick about this. I don't think this guy felt it. Two things. One, we can't compare crazy people to not crazy people and use the same logic to describe them both. For example, this guy, anybody who I know that feels entitled to pussy gets a lot of pussy. It's just the reality of the matter.
Yeah,
I lived in
chauvinistic.
Exactly. I lived in Spain, and these guys were they felt entitled to it, and not in a way that was like I hate women, but just like, hey, I'm a guy. I think that I'm worth something, and you're a beautiful woman. And I think that you would be happy to be with me.
And I guess if you want
this guy right here, real quickly, this guy right here, if he did feel entitled to women and didn't get laid, we're dealing with psychosis, right? We're dealing with something wrong here.
The definition of psychosis, I want to make sure that you don't mean what you, I don't think you mean what you just said, which is a guy that is entitled to pussy and doesn't get it is by definition crazy given just those two conditions. No. I think this guy is clearly crazy, but I don't think
I think he's crazy, and then there's
because he killed people.
One of the
like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and the rest of the logic doesn't fit in because he's crazy. Like when you're crazy, you could be like, you know what, I'm really upset that vegetables are shaped this way. Right. I'm gonna go fucking kill people. Like that is a logical thing that they think.
He is crazy though, because he lives in a world, a sex-driven country, where you can really go buy pussy anywhere you want. He can't get no pussy.
This wasn't about pussy. This is about desire. He just wants some girl to love. He wanted some girl to love.
He wanted to feel loved.
Pussy to love.
And
he wanted to be loved.
But we're still looking at this like we would look at a situation, right? We're still looking at this as if he had feelings like us. He doesn't have feelings like us. That's why he can go around and kill these people.
Why did he jump to murder though? If he wanted pussy, why didn't he just rape these girls?
Why didn't he fuck a prostitute?
Right,
that's why
there are a lot of
crime. That's it. And like you said something earlier,
prostitution's a crime.
You said something earlier, which I don't believe. You said that murder and rape are one and the same.
No. I was challenging
She's saying she doesn't feel that they are.
So why would you jump to murder? And if pussy is what you want,
because he's so angry.
Go rape these girls in the sorority.
I mean, like, and the thing is, like, this guy is clearly insane, but he says stuff that I've heard from men that are not this crazy, that still buy into the same narrative, the same framework that he's operating in, which is this really misogynistic framework. Women are like the plague. They don't deserve to have any rights. Their wickedness must be contained. This idea of controlling women, prevent future generations.
You can't take what someone says out of anger and bring that to who they are as a
He wrote a 143-page manifesto. He thought about it. This isn't some
Of course he thought about it because he's angry every day. It's the same reaction. Like, let's say a Puerto Rican guy cuts you off in your car, and you go, "Fucking Puerto Rican!" You know, you're in that moment you're upset. So now what we're doing is we're extracting that fucking Puerto Rican, and then we're attaching it to who he is as a person. When in reality, he thinks the reason why he's upset and angry and sad is because of women. He's a fucking maniac. That's why he's upset, angry, and sad. He's just applying that to women and using that as a justification.
Listen to this sentence. He says, there is something mentally wrong with the way their brains are wired, as if they haven't evolved. I've heard all the time from men in all kinds of different situations, like, women are just crazy. Like, that's just the thing you got to accept about the world. Like, women be crazy.
No pussy says.
Right. And and a lot of women that get a lot of pussy say the same thing. It's like, you say whatever they want to hear, and then you fuck them, and then they freak out, and I don't know what's wrong with them. Women are crazy.
Women are crazy. Wait for it, judge on a man's definition of crazy. Just as men are crazy, judge
from a feminine perspective.
Definition of crazy.
Sure.
So when we say you're crazy, it's totally justified. I'm treating you like my equal. But if you don't want me to call you crazy, then you're asking me to not treat you as my equal. You're going to treat me differently.
Crazy is a go-to of just saying, I don't understand.
Sure.
It's a man's way of saying, I don't understand what you're going through right now. And it's a woman's way of saying, I don't understand what you're going through right now. So when your girl's really putting you through something, you're like, you're fucking crazy.
Well,
because
right,
you don't understand what the fuck's going on.
But it's
a tool.
In addition,
like my mom was kind of crazy growing up. Like she was a little wild, right? And my dad would tell me that shit. Like my dad would be like, "Don't worry, your mom's just a little bit crazy." And I'll be honest with you, that shit saved me.
Yeah.
Because instead of me personalizing and going, "Wait, is my mom? What the fuck is my mom yelling at me like this? Why mom is acting all angry and sad?" I just went, "Oh, mom's just a little crazy." And I didn't personalize shit.
You know what I've learned to do? I've learned to say, instead of "you're crazy," I've learned to say, "I don't understand you right now."
That's great because that doesn't
you.
Right because
like,
because that's
let's have this conversation.
That's taking.
I don't understand you right now. Because when you call her crazy, then she really starts acting crazy.
Because it's dismissive. Exactly. And
Chappelle said that brilliantly. When you call someone crazy, everything else they say has no meaning.
Exactly.
If I go, Charlamagne's crazy, and then you start talking wild in the show, everybody goes, well, I mean, that's just, he's crazy. Right. Let's not take him seriously.
I don't understand you right now. I want to understand you.
And
give
help me understand you.
Exactly.
You can understand.
Right.
But what if after trying to explain, we still don't understand?
That's okay. I mean, two people cannot understand each other. I don't necessarily think it's a gendered thing. Like, I really do believe that men and women, when you get right down to it, like in basic human needs, we are more similar than we are different.
I do not agree.
And I think we've set up.
I do not agree.
I do.
Okay.
I do not agree.
I actually believe women are stronger than men.
Well, I mean, that's just science.
In terms of, I mean, not just, science, because, women they can carry babies for 9 months. They have periods. Like, women actually, by nature, have to go through some type of pain every month that we don't go through.
So what do you determine strength? Because they're definitely not physically stronger.
Have you ever seen a woman give birth?
Have you ever seen the Olympics? So like physically stronger, but emotionally, do I think they have a greater
in terms of
capacity?
Pain tolerance? Yeah,
pain tolerance, absolutely. It's not even a question.
I think that's what he means. Yeah. Right.
Like this guy
but
here.
We can't. I can't win an arm wrestling contest even with a dude that weighs less than 20 pounds.
But if you're arm wrestling with your uterus, you win every single time.
Every time.
Males cannot handle it. It has been proven.
That's what they need to do is find a way for you to compete on things with your uterus. And just see. You said some funny shit to me. Remember when you said, dude, you know what they got to do? They got to make tires out of
tires out of vagina walls.
Out of vagina walls. I was like, why? He goes, because my girl shit has felt the same for 10 years.
Vagina walls are the most durable thing on the planet.
The warranty on fucking vagina
bounce
walls?
back.
Listen,
crazy.
This guy right here is a misogynistic, self-entitled piece of shit, and that's why he couldn't get no pussy.
But don't judge him the same way you were going to judge me.
Sure.
He's a crazy person.
You're a misogynistic piece of shit that was incapable of murder.
Exactly. So but don't put me in the same sphere as him. That all I'm saying is let him be a maniac. Don't let him be the example, because now what everybody's doing is going, this is white male entitlement. These are what white males do. And now I got to be a piece of shit because this guy killed people. This is a crazy person. The same way all these other crazy people that have killed, that have raped, that have done all these horrible things that that don't have morals, right? So don't judge me based on that one.
I think the only thing that complicates that for me is that this guy went to a lot of websites that exist. Now, I think that the websites that he went to, these sort of like misogynistic chat rooms or whatever, are kind of like the like white supremacist groups, and that it is a fringe and it is an extreme, but it comes from like, just like saying, just because people that are like involved in the KKK or white supremacists are the extreme doesn't mean that racism doesn't exist in society. So I would say that the groups that he was going to in these misogynistic chat rooms or whatever are a reflection, an exaggeration, a magnification of some of the misogyny that women deal with every day.
But I've never heard a man, say, hey, let's go out there and kill these women. I've heard men say we could keep our foot on their necks and keep them down and make them submissive, but he took it a little
That's also not okay.
To the extreme. No, I agree. I'm with you. Listen, I'm all about letting a woman be a woman. I have no problem. Like, I don't even believe in the whole submissive thing. Like, why should a woman be submissive to me when I'm not submissive to her?
I'm into the submissive thing because it turns me on, but like not politically.
But we should be submissive to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You submit to me, I submit to you. Like, it shouldn't be okay.
But I don't submit to men. Like, well,
I think there's an ego thing there, and I agree with you. I don't mind submitting. I like that. As long as you're comfortable with somebody, you can be vulnerable with them.
Yeah.
I think a big thing for guys, myself included, is getting to the point of vulnerability. But I'll tell you why that is I don't think initially women are attracted to male vulnerability.
Sure. I would 100% agree with that because I've experienced that viscerally.
Bullshit. These hoes love Drake.
But wait for it. Initially.
Yeah.
To say Drake is qualified as a musician.
Okay.
If Drake came up to a girl and nobody knew the fuck he was and just walked up to a girl at a bar and he was like, I'm really sad.
and lonely.
And just said that. Like, hey, what's your name?
Yeah, the girl be like, I can't deal with your fucking insecurity.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
I think
You're so insecure.
But here's the thing, right? So they're not attracted to male vulnerability initially.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to sustain a relationship, you gotta be fucking vulnerable.
And I would add,
girls lick your ass and put fingers in your asshole. There's nothing more vulnerable.
This is your way of justifying that you get a fucking finger in your asshole from now again, and not just the tip of the finger.
Don't worry about it. You're not alone.
No, my justification for that is getting my colonic check.
Feels good.
Yes,
getting
my colon check.
I want to complicate what you just said, Andrew, because I think it's even broader than that, right? Like, I think that vulnerability is necessary for good sex, and I think one of the sad things about like the game and this system that we've set up is we're really denying people good sex. Like when you as a man chase a woman and you objectify her and the goal is to fuck her, you limit what that sex looks like. But if you can connect with someone, even if it's not within the context of a relationship, even if it's not to build a life with someone, but if you can just be vulnerable and be like a whole dimensional person and accept all of her dimensions too, and bring that vulnerability in and really connect, you can have the kind of sex that makes you seek God.
You're right. That's why I use selective honesty and generosity to disarm my victims. Like when I'm talking to young ladies, I'm talking to them from the perspective of a guy who really likes them, really cares about them. Like, God bless Maya Angelou. God bless the dead. I am sorry that she has passed. But now all these girls are going to be Googling Maya Angelou quotes, and they're going to realize the stuff I text them in the morning, that's not me. They're going to realize this is from
Charlamagne, did you know that there was you said the exact same thing as Maya Angelou?
I know. Great minds think alike.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Now, what you're suggesting is that we live in this society in which we both choose who we want to sleep with, and we both have the same, I guess, decision making.
Sure.
And we don't have to use these tricks and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, like, I think tricks are fun and seduction. I mean, like, if two people just come up and it's like a once over, like, do you want to fuck? Yeah, I want to fuck. Cool. Sign this consent form. Like, that's not sexy. Like, you know, I mean, nobody does that.
No, but so here's the point.
You can sign this consent form.
He's checking IDs in.
What?
Okay. So do you know algebra? No? All right, come here. Let me feel you.
Sign a consent form. Yes, I say that I am 13.
But the game mentality, it's like, I feel like male sexuality in this society is...
The game.
But you set yourself up like a hungry ghost. Like, you're never going to satisfy that. Like,
fair enough. But why do you think the game exists? Why do you think the game exists?
I mean,
we wouldn't have to lie if you guys were attracted to the truth.
We wouldn't have to deny you access to sexuality if we weren't continuously shamed at every turn for submitting to it.
So you think that we shame you? Because I think you shame you.
Who's shaming you? I don't mind.
Women shame each other.
Here's the thing.
I've never had sex with a girl and be like, I can't believe this girl. This stupid ass girl.
What were you thinking? Go clean up. What were you thinking?
I can't believe she fell for this shit. I've never said that.
But in the beginning of this podcast, you said, I believe that hoes make the best wives. And you also understood that when you made that statement, you were saying something that was different from the norm. I don't think that it's crazy for me to say that women that have a longer sexual history than maybe the man that they're sleeping with, there's some anxiety there. There's some judgment there.
Sure,
like,
I judge.
Don't call me crazy. I feel like I've witnessed this.
I judge. Definitely, yeah.
You judge. That's what I mean by shaming.
There's levels to this whole shit now. When I'm saying hoe, I'm saying like Kim Kardashian. I can take that. Or, you know, Amber Rose, she had a reputation. I could take that. But I don't want fucking Superhead. She's just a dirty slut to me. Corinne Steffens?
I don't know who any of these people are. I'm sorry. I mean, I've sucked a lot of cocks, but like,
what's a lot?
She wrote a book about it.
Hold on, what's a lot?
No, I'm gonna tell you the difference.
Hold on. What's a lot?
I don't count.
Okay,
like, I'm not holding. I mean, probably.
So over 100 now.
But nobody would know that, and I don't mind that. That's your body count. That's your personal thing that you went through. I don't like a girl like Corinne Steffens who wrote a book about it, profited off it, and put all of these people on blast just to make a profit.
Wait a second.
That's a slut to me.
I mean, I profit from it because I talk about it on sage. I mean, I'm not secretive about my
cocks.
I mean, what I the line that I have is
she could be at a point in her career where she is as famous as Corinne Steffens and therefore profiting off of these sexual experiences just like Corinne Steffens is. So potentially she could be there.
Sure.
But my point is that there's still, I don't think that it's society telling me that I don't like that. I just think there's part of me that doesn't like that. And aren't I allowed to be like...
I mean, you're allowed to have whatever sexual preferences you want. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to take that away from anyone. But I don't think it's just women that are shaming women about, like, their promiscuous history.
No, it's not just women.
And this has...
You don't care if we have been with a lot of partners. A lot of women don't care if guys have been with them. I don't really think they do.
Yes, they do.
I think some women do and some women don't, because all women are different.
I would go so far as to say that they require us to have been with a lot of partners, because that in some way qualifies their decision to be with us because we're a desirable male.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I've heard women say, hell no, he sleeps with everybody.
I've heard women say that too.
I don't think they believe it.
I definitely think they believe it.
No, I think that there's the...
My girl says that about me, and guess what? She's with me.
There's a point of diminishing returns, right? So like, you don't want an undesirable person, right? We're all status obsessed fucking monkeys, right? So like, we're interested in having sex with somebody that other people want to have sex with, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a point of diminishing returns where that person has had sex with so many people that you don't feel special anymore. You don't feel like they're choosy, and it takes away your desirability. Because if this guy's willing to fuck anybody, then I don't get any ego boost at all from him having sex with me, because he'll have sex with anyone.
Fuck the girl in the ass.
But
I'm waiting until I get married and I'm gonna fuck my wife.
It's good to say something.
You're a darling for doing that. Now, you could also argue that if this guy's willing to fuck everybody and not willing to fuck you, that also bruises your ego. And that makes you
I've
go,
just
what's
never met
wrong?
That dude.
But you might not. But I think a lot of women would go, what's wrong with me that he fucks everybody and not me? I want to fuck him just to make sure I'm as hot as all these other people.
Game, by the
people
way.
have sex.
Because I've been telling girls for the longest that I'm a reformed thought. I tell every girl that. And I act like I don't want to sleep with you. Like, wow, all of a sudden you want to get reformed when you get with me. Next thing you know, she's just tossing the pussy at me, and I'm still not taking it.
People have sex, well, all kinds of people. Men and women have sex for a lot of different reasons.
And I think I do think that's the dumbest. That's one of the most dumbest double standards in the world.
Which is
the fact that men can fuck a lot of girls and be considered max, and girls can fuck a lot of guys and be considered hoes. I think that makes no sense.
It has a long history, and I think it comes.
We had an episode on this podcast where you said it makes complete sense.
Well, the thing is that it comes. It has
3 episodes ago we spoke about this exact topic. Where you were like,
I'm really
when a
persuasive.
Girl does it, it's they're a hoe. When a dude does it, they're
those
not.
are the rules.
Okay. Guys,
those are the rules, but I still think it's dumb.
But guys, I mean, like that idea has a really long history, and I think it comes from the fact that it doesn't matter how many dudes I fuck, I'm just gonna know it's my baby.
You're not just sure who the father is.
Wait,
depends. I mean, it doesn't matter how many guys I have sex with. It doesn't matter. I am gonna know with 100% certainty that it's my baby. So like, it's my baby.
You know who the daddy was. Hell no, you won't.
Right, exactly. So like, with this idea of controlling women's sexuality, that chastity is the highest, like the most valuable woman is the most chaste woman, comes, I think, from anxiety about paternity.
I just don't want dudes who have nutted on my girlfriend. Like, is that hard to, like, when I have sex with my girlfriend, I don't want to know that there are other dudes that were just busting off all over her. Like, to me, but maybe
I think that your visceral disgust comes from, I think it comes from that.
But maybe you think it comes from that, but I've never felt that way. I'm not trying to have a child, and I still feel that. And nobody told me growing up, hey, you got to make sure that you do this thing. So you're arguing that maybe it's some part of, like, evolution.
That's what I'm arguing.
Ingrained in me, which is, I guess, possible. But at the same time, I also feel deep down like if another guy was nutting on my girl's face, it would make me feel uncomfortable.
So you would want your girl to be a virgin?
I mean, I would be okay with it.
As you should. Listen,
no, she wants her to be.
I wouldn't be against it.
Growing up, we were taught to be virgins and to stay a virgin until you get married. If more people had that right mindset, this guy.
You think that's the right mindset?
I mean, that's the way we were taught. We were taught, save yourself.
We came from different households.
That's how I was always taught.
That's how you were taught.
I don't necessarily believe in that. I was definitely not a virgin growing up.
I definitely believe in that. I got my dick sucked at 8.
Okay, exactly.
I got molested.
I mean, you were, it wasn't up to you.
Yeah, it wasn't up to me.
You can't brag about some shit that wasn't up to you. I got raped at 14.
Right. I was molested.
I'm trying to make
I'm the best
out of a bad situation, Schulz. Okay? I don't look at it as getting molested at 8. I look at it as, hey, man,
I was a player.
I was a player since the age of 8,
She was sucking his dick. That's right.
I was so
Question.
At 8 that my cousin's ex-wife at 20 couldn't resist something.
If an 8-year-old girl got her pussy licked by, if an 8-year-old girl got her pussy licked by some guy and said that as an adult woman, would you think that was funny? Or would you be like, that's some fucked up shit?
I think it was fucked up on the man's part of eating pussy. A little 8-year-old girl.
I think it was fucked up on whoever sucked your dick's age at the age 8. I think true. I mean, no offense, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I would love to live in a world where a woman has the power to rewrite her own narrative to make her experiences mean to her, whatever. Like, I don't think that anyone else can tell somebody what their experience is.
Exactly. I respect people who own it and live their truth. Like, I respect you for just speaking light of your rape, and nobody can tell you that you're wrong for doing that. That's the way you choose to handle that situation. Yeah. Like this morning, I'm tweeting about Maya Angelou, and I'm tweeting real shit, how I'm feeling. I'm tweeting that, now girls are going to be Google. No, I tweeted, every side chick's favorite Maya Angelou quote is, don't make somebody a priority when they're just making you an option. That really is every side chick's favorite Maya Angelou quote. People got mad at me. You're so fucking insensitive. That's disrespectful. Why?
Because you're turning Maya Angelou into Marilyn Monroe, and they're two really different people.
How am I turning Maya? No, I'm not. I'm saying every side chick.
Not Maya Angelou's a side chick, but like if I'm dating a girl, if I have a girlfriend, then this other girl on the side I'm cheating on my girlfriend with, that girl on the side
who knows she's a side chick.
I understand. What I'm saying is that like a thing that I hear a lot is like, oh man, if someone loves Marilyn Monroe quotes, they're a fucked up hoe. Or like like Marilyn Monroe is this weird pop culture person that has a lot of quotes that women that that her quotes or whatever are something that like women will use a lot and men always roll their eyes. So if you're turning Maya Angelou into this like roll your eyes figure because somebody quotes her, like she's a literary powerhouse.
We roll our eyes at redundancy. So if I see a guy who's got the Animal House college poster in his apartment, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Jim Belushi or John Belushi has the college sweatshirt. When I walk in there, or if I see a Scarface poster, I'm going to do the same shit. I'm like, really, dog? I want to see unique shit. So if I see that, So if I see a girl with the same stupid ass fucking Marilyn Monroe quote, with the same stupid ass fucking tattoo of a what is that?
Peace sign?
No, the Native Americans dream catcher. Do you know what I mean? Like,
really? Yeah, you're right. That's multiple.
Paul Prince. So it's like this, if we just see redundant shit, we go, well, that's not unique. That's whack. So there's a difference between being whack and us being misogynistic.
Sure.
I'm looking at Twitter this morning, and I'm looking at all these video vixens and reality show chicks that be all ratchet on Monday tweeting Maya Angelou quote. I'm like, shut the fuck up. But you mad at me because I tweeted about what a side chick would tweet out? Maya Angelou wouldn't even like you. Maya Angelou wouldn't like Mimi from Love and Hip Hop. She don't like you, Jocelyn. Shut the fuck up. She wouldn't even like you.
She would block you if you tweeted her while she was alive.
She would give you a 2-hour-long sermon about what you're doing wrong in life. And you know what you would tell Maya Angelou if you was Jocelyn?
I'm just doing me.
No, you don't know me. You don't know my life. Who are you to judge? That's exactly how they would talk to her. But this morning they quoting her all the time, but get mad at me because I tweet out about what a side chick would tweet. What favorite Maya Angelou quote is hers. Come on, man. Fuck out of here.
Everybody's got love for the dead, man.
Do you mind us walking us through your rape, or is that too painful?
It's not that it's too painful. It's that was
it a date?
Yeah.
All right.
We don't have to talk about it if you don't feel comfortable.
No, that's all.
This is a long time ago.
No, it wasn't.
What exactly is your position on rape?
Because here's the thing: there is a fascination for those who don't understand. And I feel like rape is really misunderstood because there's so many different...
What?
Right.
So misunderstood because there's so many... It's like they chop it up. There's date rape. There's this. We were talking the other day like how people joke around in music, Charlamagne was saying, about raping people.
No, they don't joke around. They just don't realize what they're doing is rape. Like when Rick Ross said in the record, I put Molly on your champagne. She don't even know it. Took it home and I enjoyed that.
She don't even know it. He's basically saying, I raped her.
Right.
I fucking raped her.
That's rape.
What? She was begging for it. Yeah, under the influence of drugs she didn't know she was on.
Little Webby said in the record one time, I'm a strong arm that pussy. Even when you're in a bar with a girl and you're trying to ply her with so many drinks that she gets incoherent and you go fuck her, that is rape.
Yes.
So, and furthermore, there's this idea of the rape fantasy. Which I think is completely misconstrued.
What's the rape fantasy?
Okay, so
I've never had a fantasy of raping.
Describe the rape. Well, I think the rape fantasy is when a woman explain.
Sure. So, like, I think that a huge part of what turns me on is feeling desired, right? Just like, and so in a relationship, like one of the things that I like to do with my boyfriend is every now and again I like for him to sort of come home and just take me, like push me up against a counter, spit on his hand, and like just fuck me.
That's not rape. That's your boyfriend.
But it's aggressive, and it's like not taking my needs into consideration because he just can't. It's like the can't control himself with quotes around it kind of thing, right? That I've inspired this.
Now here's the thing,
but you want it. So that's
right.
What
makes that's what makes it not rape.
That's not what makes it not rape.
Yes, it does.
No. That's not. This is what makes it not rape. You want. A rape fantasy is you want him to desire you.
Mm-hmm.
Rape is not about desire. It's about power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So this guy is not, these rapists aren't going, oh my God, I desire this woman. That's why I'm hiding in a bush in the park. Any fucking chick is there. I want to control this woman. I want to pin her down, and I want to feel this power.
I don't know that that's true. I think that there's definitely, I think there's a power dynamic in what I'm asking my boyfriend to do. Absolutely.
Sure, but he knows it's consensual, and you know it's consensual if it's your boyfriend.
Right.
And I feel like overwhelming desire, I think there's great sex there. I think losing yourself in desire.
Yes.
Right? Just going, I'm going to fucking grab your hair because that's what I want to do.
Right.
This uncalculated sex, right?
Yes.
Is fucking great. That's what we all want. That's
it's
not
wonderful.
rape fantasy. That's great sex.
But that's what I think.
And I feel like a lot of times women misconstrue, I have this rape fantasy. No, you just want your boyfriend to fucking ravish you. You don't want.
First of all, that's not rape. Let's erase that all the way. That's boyfriend aggressiveness ain't rape.
Fantasy.
Rape, I do agree with you. Rape, to me, is a sick sexual desire. I don't believe it's about overpowering. I just think it's a sick sexual desire. That's what I believe rape is.
But it's not desire for that one woman. My point is, and maybe it could be, but I don't think rapists are following around one woman like for 4 days.
Some are. Stalkers are. I mean, that's a real thing. Is like stalkers get obsessed with one particular woman. They follow her around. They go through her mail. They like pull her underwear.
What about
whatever.
Darren Sharper, the NFL guy who was raping all these chicks? You think this NFL guy was stalking these girls?
No, but that's not what all rapists look like. Not in that case.
Exactly. And he was date raping these girls.
Right.
He had a fetish of date raping girls, letting them pass out, fucking them, and then telling his homeboys about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's sick. That's another sick sexual desire. You ever seen that movie Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
He used to look at this girl every day and jack off.
Mm-hmm.
So when he finally got that invisibility, he went over there and raped her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or like,
because he was stalking her the whole time.
It's really funny to me because like for example, a guy can turn what could have been consensual sex into a rape. So like I've heard stories, this is like kind of common. This is kind of common with celebrities where a guy is chatting a girl up. He brings her back to her hotel room. One thing is leading to another. He drugs her, even though she was going to consent to sex, but she didn't consent to being drugged. She passes out, and then he has sex with her while she's unconscious.
The amount of insecurity in that is mind-boggling.
But that's even though she would have consented to sex,
and you're thinking, oh, she might not fuck me.
I don't think it's that she might not fuck me. That is a power dynamic, and that's like an ego thing.
That is some fucked up twist.
Guys are doing that just to take away the expectations. Like if she's passed out, I don't gotta make her come.
Maybe I don't.
Fast, she won't care.
I don't know what it is, but what I'm saying is that like that's a woman who, I mean, I don't think you can even say like she was asking for it or whatever. That's a woman who wanted to consent to a kind of sexual activity where they were both conscious, and then ended up in an activity that she couldn't consent because she was passed out. Or another case is like this is a case that I read about a couple of years ago that I totally agree with. A woman prosecuted a man for raping her because she consented to have sex with him, asked him to use a condom, and then he overpowered her and came inside of her without her consent. So she wanted to have protected sex, and he didn't let that happen.
Yeah, that's rape.
That's rape.
I've heard stories of
people disagree with that.
Yeah. I've heard she once you consent to sex, like fucking it's all blah.
Yeah.
So once you say yes to sex, it's up to me if I want to wrap it up or not. You said yes, bitch.
No, that's real.
It's in my hands now.
Mm-hmm. I've heard stories of girls who are having sex, who are about to get raped by guys. And they're like, at least put a condom on.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're about to get raped. I've heard shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've heard of stories like that.
And then does the rapist consent?
I don't know if he puts the condom on, but I've heard stories where girls be like, if you're going to rape me, at least put the condom on.
Yeah.
Which I guess is kind of consent in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't never heard of protected rape.
Well, I have, and I don't think that you can say, oh, well, after he coerced her into having sex, she said, please use a condom while you're raping me. He put a condom on. Therefore, it's no longer rape. We got to throw this case out. Like, I think he's still committing a crime there. It's still an assault.
You've had a bunch of partners.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean for this to be insensitive at all, but did that make it any less painful, the rape?
That's a really hard question. And I want to say, first of all, like, we're both comedians here. Like, you don't have to walk on eggshells. Like,
okay,
what I mean is, like, don't worry about the political correctness. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, and if you say something to offend me, I'll be like, yo, Andrew, did you mean this?
No, but what I mean is what she was talking about earlier.
Sure. I think.
Listen.
That did offend me.
What I mean by that is this. What I mean by that is this. What you were talking about, women putting value on the amount of partners they've been with.
Yeah.
For a girl who's never been with anybody.
I think it would be really, really different psychologically for a woman who was saving herself for marriage.
And then that
happened. And then her whole sense of self is somehow called into question because she had this experience and she's been told all of the things that women that save themselves for marriage believe about chastity and sexuality. Yeah. I have a different set of beliefs. And so I would say that, yeah, it's different. I don't think that it's any less, like I have a different set of psychological tools because I've had a wide variety of sexual experiences, but, and I think that having those tools is sort of what allowed me to go like, yeah, all right. You know, I'm not going to let this be the thing that defines me as a person.
Do you feel like the guy might have felt like he could rape you because he knew you were a hoe?
No.
He heard your reputation?
No.
Not at all.
No, I don't think that was what contributed to the sense of entitlement.
And I've never, I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not the end all be all on rape, but I've never heard somebody tell a woman that's been raped that your life is over. Actually, it's the exact opposite. It's like, okay, you can get over this. You know, this is something that happened to you, but it's not going to stop you.
I've heard people say out loud, like, you know, she was raped and it was so awful. It's like she died, or it's like she you know, he should have killed her. That would have been more humane, or like something like her life is over.
I've heard that kind of stuff,
and I've also heard things
I've also felt in a weird way bad, like when somebody was you know, raped, like felt like, oh, does that take away from who she is? Can she recover? Can she feel like, you even see in movies like they don't want to have sex? They don't was it hard for you to have sex again? Consensual?
No, not because of that incident. I've had a long sexual history and I've had a lot of experiences. I had a really hard time having sex again because I was in an abusive relationship for a long time with like my ex-fiance. And so I was having like PTSD flashbacks to
what's PTSD?
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
So like I was having flashbacks during sex with people that like, and we didn't have enough of a connection for me to be like, hey dude, this is what's happening. So it was really
having flashbacks about the rape.
No, not the rape, the abuse.
He would beat you
and
up.
The abuse. Yeah. It was, I mean, there was physical stuff. There was physical stuff. The psychological shit was way worse, but there was physical shit.
You probably hated that song, I'll Beat the Pussy Up.
I don't know that song.
You thought that she listens to?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
This conversation would be totally different if more men got raped by other men.
I think more men get raped by other men than we know about.
That's what I'm thinking. When y'all talk about shame and the shame that women feel and they don't say nothing.
We at least have a public narrative.
Men
yeah,
are out here talking about how they getting raped.
Chappelle had a joke where he goes, there was this rapist in Texas who, and 7 men came out and said that they've been raped by this guy.
Yes.
And Chappelle goes, that guy must have raped 100,000 dudes.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no way.
I mean, most
people are not coming to the police about that.
Christopher Hitchens, I mean, writes about boarding school as being this place of like fucking buggery, and I forget the actual quote, but I mean, like the longer history. So like not our contemporary society, like boarding schools where it's like all men, or like there's a long history of dudes getting raped by men in power in like sort of enclosed spaces. prison is something that we sort of go to, but back when there was boarding schools or like the monasteries and like there, especially when we like really separated men and women and they had like different spheres, that was, I'm sure it was really, really common.
And I'm not even talking about kids, men on kids. I'm talking about grown men, guys like that dude on your shirt, Mike Tyson, dudes that look like him, built like him, raping grown ass men. All of these guys walking around with imagine if all these guys walking around with their pants sagging started to get objectified by dudes. And there's also dudes like, I like that ass of yours, slapping you on the ass, raping you.
And especially when you talk about like repressed homosexuality, if you have that desire and you've repressed it so hard, you won't even acknowledge it for yourself, and it comes out as rape, or even that power dynamic that you were talking about as a dominance thing. Like, I mean, this is probably a terrible analogy. Please don't slay me online, but like I have there were 2 dogs in our neighborhood. They were both dudes. And the dominant one would like hump the other one, even though they were both men. And it was just a dominance thing. Like it wasn't really an expression of sexuality. But
this has been done throughout history amongst men.
Yes.
Like, 2 warring tribes.
Yes.
They capture one of the guys from the other tribe.
Yes.
They fucking rape them. There was even amongst like strong arm guys in England. I was watching this Vice documentary, and this guy said they captured one of the other strong arm guys. They're obviously everybody has their strong men. They raped him. And the guy killed himself 4 weeks later. And he was like, "That's the fucking shame." It's like you're a tough guy for a living, and some dude fucked your ass.
Listen. I could take an ass cutting. I probably could take a bullet.
Ass cutting?
A guy beating you up, but a guy raping you.
And that's
how do I tell my father that I got raped?
And that's one of
your father. How do you tell me? Fuck your. How do you say anything to me if you disagree with me once? The first thing I'm bringing up with your loose asshole, you would have an opinion like that. Your loose, saggy asshole trying to hold his shit in.
It would be no mercy amongst men.
Oh, forget it.
We have sympathy for women because women are women, and we can see how a woman can get overpowered by a man.
But we got no excuse.
No sympathy for you. You got raped by a guy.
Where was your defense at?
We ain't talking about kids.
You couldn't play D. You could put your hands up.
You ain't even clinch up.
Yeah, come on,
You ain't clinch up when he put his dick in.
You knew you let him in. You let him in.
You wanted that. You wanted it.
You probably spit on it.
I told you to put your fucking pants up, didn't I? You were sagging around him?
Why you sagging
you
around
farted around him.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you farting was flirting?
That's what happened. Yeah,
Didn't I tell you farted around another man?
Be honest, when he pulled it out, you sucked it.
Just to make it wet. I didn't want it to hurt.
Another reason I wanted to bring you here, too, because it's this term that is said a lot in the urban community. And the term is control your bitch.
Sure.
Do you think women can be controlled? Because I don't think so.
And set it up with the Mayweather situation.
Well, you know what, Floyd Mayweather, T.I., his wife was taking pictures with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather said it was nothing sexual going on. But T.I. ran up on Floyd Mayweather. Do you even know who the people I'm talking about?
I spoke to her earlier about it. Floyd Mayweather's
But it's kind of like the conversation Donald Sterling was having with his mistress about how she needs to control her public image in order to protect his ego. He was trying to control her.
And he's a billionaire who was giving her millions, had her set up nicely, and he still couldn't even control his woman. And even on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, have you ever heard of the show? Yeah.
You live in a very white world.
I'm so sorry. I don't know.
I like talking to people like you. Well, it's a person named
Miranda Lambert
who told her nigga son Little Scrappy to control his bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't believe that term, I don't believe you can control anything with a mind of its own.
I mean, like, you can, and societies do it. I don't think we want to live in that world.
When you were with your abusive husband?
Yeah.
Or fiance?
No, you weren't controlled. You were in fear.
I mean,
it's a difference.
My behavior changed.
That's control is by fear,
sure.
by respect, whatever it is. It's still a form of control.
But you know how you know you can never be controlled?
Because I'm gone.
Exactly. Same thing with slavery. As much control as they think they had over the slaves, eventually slaves rebelled.
Yeah, but there were a couple of hundred years there where they had a lot of control.
Well, slaves did not rebel.
They rebelled.
I mean, there were slave rebellions.
Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman with the Underground Railroad, whether they run away or fucking
John Brown,
still rebelling.
All right. What
there was
slavery?
A point in time where they said enough of this bullshit.
No. There was a point in time where white people said enough, and then it was stopped. Hold on. Historically speaking,
it was a combination of people rebelling. They got tired. After a while, they were like, look, we don't want to fight.
No.
Yes.
Charlamagne,
My slaves are running away. My slaves are fighting.
No.
We got to come to a common ground. Absolutely.
This is the North realized that they're not an agricultural economy. They don't need slavery to profit.
But it was a war that happened because of that.
No, the war happened because of states' rights.
It was still a war.
But it was because of states' rights.
Like, look, we're not fighting this other army.
I have a degree in
slaves.
Southern history. If anyone wants to ask about, so like the slavery didn't end because as the direct result of an uprising, like a slave revolt. That's not
that I know.
Okay. You're right. States' rights was the rhetoric. I do not believe that Yankees fought in order to free slaves. I do believe that Southerners were fighting to preserve the institution of slavery, but I don't believe that the North was fighting to liberate the slaves.
That's all I'm saying.
Sure. Okay.
And to further that point, during the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation only freed slaves in states that were warring against the North.
It didn't free slaves in the border states. That's true. So it freed zero slaves.
New Orleans had slaves throughout the Civil War, past the Emancipation Proclamation. Eventually, slavery was illegal throughout the United States, but all it said is if you're in war with the North, it's illegal for you to have slaves. Now, the North didn't have slaves because they didn't have the economy for it. They weren't making cotton up north.
No, they had huge groups of immigration. That was actually, it's really funny because the economy that the North set up, there were some Southerners that said things like that's more immoral, because what the Northern folks would do is they'd take immigrants like fresh off the boat, pay them subsistence wages, and then when they were no longer physically useful, they'd say like, okay, you're fired, and like, you know. Anyway,
listen,
so it's just complicated.
And I appreciate it. Sure. What I'm saying is, you still can't control them. It was still slaves that rebelled.
Sure, yes, absolutely, consistently.
Sure. And it's just like with women. No matter how much control you think you got over a woman, you think that's your girl, she's still going to do what it is she wants to do.
Relationship dynamics are diverse and complicated, and every relationship is different, and the power dynamics are different. There are no relationships where there's not some kind of power dynamic.
That's why we love pimps.
Who?
Pimps don't even have no control.
But here's the thing.
That's why they got to slap their bitches every now and then.
There's the illusion. This is why men look up to pimps. I know it's hard to understand this, but this is the reality of the matter. And I'm fascinated by pimps because you can get a woman to go on the corner, sell her pussy, give you the money for selling her pussy, right? I can't get my girlfriend to watch Captain America, the Winter Soldier with me without a fight. And that's actually a really good movie.
Hold on, but you have
Do you know what I mean? So my point is,
you have to compare the level of woman. Okay.
No shit. Obviously, there's other things going on. But in my head, I'm going, how the fuck can we see the fucking Winter Soldier?
If I go get me an 18, 19-year-old girl whose mother was on heroin, her father used to rape her when she was young and tell her she wasn't shit. She's living on the street.
You're saying she'll go to Captain America with me?
Yeah.
She'll go to Captain America?
She'll be so happy to get some free popcorn? Are you crazy? Yes. That's what pimps do. It's not like pimps are out there pimping.
Charlamagne, listen to your language. The level of woman? What do you mean?
Hold on. Let's be clear. Don't hand me that shit now.
I just want to be
to this woman shit. Come on now. What I mean by that is, I can't get if I'm a pimp can't get in Oprah's head, but a pimp can get into that freaking heroin addict on the corner who ain't got shit.
And not only a pimp, but a cult can get into.
Absolutely, that's what it's more like. I think that's a better analogy.
What a pimp is a cult. That's having a cult.
That's all it is.
You create a.
That's all it is.
You preying on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following.
And men fall for shit like that.
Just like these blogs preyed on this kid's need to believe. Just like, and this happens to everybody. Everybody who has a need for acceptance and need to believe, especially people who are struggling. People who just want. Look, these celebrities that join. What is that? Scientology. This shit is stressful entertainment. Entertainment is fucking stressful. The first thing Scientology
and there's so much out of your control.
And the first thing Scientology says is, hey, why don't you take a stress test? We can help you with that. You can help me with fucking stress? I totally understand science. Are you fucking
do green tea enemas all day?
Hold on.
But dude, it's like, it makes perfect. What, 10%? All I have to do is give you 10% of what I make and I get to have no stress? Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah.
Listen, that's a golden opportunity.
You're absolutely right. Let's go back to this levels of the woman thing, too, because this is a problem I have with a lot of feminists today.
Okay.
You have feminists that are riding so hard for the cause of women that they're not riding for the cause of what's right. And what I mean by that is, if I chastise a chick on reality TV, whether it's Jocelyn, Mimi, whoever, and I say, oh, you're 40-something years old, You're a mother. You're hanging from a shower rod. You got a daughter. What's your daughter gonna think? And I insult her for that.
Maybe it was in a sex tape.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
you gotta explain all black shit to her.
It's not just. In all fairness to me, it's not just black shit. It's most of pop culture. Okay. Like I don't know,
which is dominated by black shit.
All right. So you'll have women
sure
who'll stand up for me and be like, Charlamagne, you're wrong. Mm-hmm. You're wrong for saying that. That's her right. If she wants to be a whore, if she wants to hang from the shower rod, that's her right. I'm like, that's the stupidest shit in the world. If you're a real feminist, you should be going to her and saying, that's wrong. You should be saying what I'm saying to her.
Why?
Why not?
How do you feel about a sex tape?
I think that sexuality is really complicated. And like, if making a sex tape turns you on, thank God we live in a country with First Amendment protections where we're no longer publicly whipping people.
No, she's 40-something years old. She's trying to be more famous.
Why does age have anything to do with it?
Because you should know better at 40-something years old than to make a sex tape and sell it for profit. And if you're not a porn star. If you're a porn star, do your thing. Like Andrew, great example with you. He got into a Twitter beef because the girl from Duke who says that she's paying her way through school because of porn. Yo, if that's what you're doing, cool.
Yeah.
Don't say it's empowering.
Why not?
Because it's not.
No. This is something that makes me angry, and this is something that you do not have the right to tell anybody what their experience is. If she says that making porn is empowering to her, and she believes that, nobody in the world can tell her what her experience is. If I say my rape wasn't that big of a deal, I'm allowed to say that, and you're not allowed to tell me differently.
I did just tell you that a while ago, but what I'm saying is...
But those are different things.
Yes, and if I'm a drug dealer, I can't act like just because I take that money and use it to help build buildings in the community or give out turkeys on Thanksgiving, that drug dealing is right. No, because it's dead wrong.
And furthermore, I can also disagree with how someone feels. For example, that is your feeling on what happened with your rape, right? But I'm also...
And if I were to make a sex tape and I said, hey, this was an empowering experience, that's something that I'm allowed to decide as well.
You're allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Right? Just as I'm allowed to say maybe this is her way of dealing with it and coping with it.
Coping with what?
Coping with whatever I feel you might be going through because I feel like it might be a hard situation. Maybe I'm allowed to say that I don't understand what is empowering about sex. Just because someone says something, right, doesn't mean that it's right.
Absolutely.
Just because you say, oh, you know what? I feel empowered by...
This murderer that killed all those girls this weekend and killed his roommates, whatever, he thought he was right. He thought he
that's
thought
the
he
most,
was absolutely
That's the most
right.
entitled shit. This is how entitled we are. Nowadays, we can just say, you know what? I feel right by doing this. Maybe there's more feelings going on. Like, for example, in a relationship, I might feel stressed out by my girlfriend, right? But and I'm saying that I feel stressed out by my girlfriend. But you know what? Maybe it's not my girlfriend. Maybe it's my career that's stressing me. And she's the closest thing to me, and I'm taking that out on her. So after reflection, we could disagree. So I think if that girl who says she feels empowered, this 18-year-old girl, this young 18-year-old girl feels empowered by porn, I think when she actually reflects a bit on what she's doing.
Having actually done both sex work and also worked at Starbucks, I'll tell you that I felt way more empowered doing sex work than I ever did standing behind the register making $8 an hour, having a bunch of people yell at me working at fucking Starbucks.
Maybe you should have been... hold on. This is important. Okay. Maybe you should have been better at making coffee.
No.
Here's the thing.
Maybe stop fucking up these orders and people stop yelling.
How about working at Starbucks isn't empowering either?
That's what we were saying.
Sure. But like, and so
working at Starbucks is empowering.
So like,
how old were you when you were working at Starbucks?
24.
Fucking loser. Like, come on.
I just moved to New York, but like, here's the thing. Like, so you take the
Starbucks?
with 3 degrees.
Oh, okay.
By the way,
right,
I mean, like, no
that's
offense.
not different. That's even.
That is
I would
worse.
I would feel worse. You're at Starbucks. My people are fucking yelling at you orders. They can't even pronounce the words right, and you know you're fluent in all the languages that they name the cups after. Right. I would be fucking furious.
No, it was irritating on so many different levels.
How old were you when you did sex work?
17.
Wait, hold on. This is important. Okay. So you were 17 when you did sex work.
17, 18, mostly 18.
Okay, mostly 18. So you felt more empowered.
Yeah.
But you had nothing. When you had 3 degrees, I would be furious if I was working at Starbucks.
It was a mind fuck.
But this is
it was a mind fuck to go from making $400 an hour with not a high school diploma to making like less than $10 an hour with 3 degrees. That was a fucked up.
Hold on, what'd you do in the sex work?
I was an escort for a couple 18 months or so. For curiosity. I come from money.
Why are you equating money to empowerment? Empowerment to me is the 3 degrees.
I mean empowerment. No, the 3 degree, like, I mean, when as an 18-year-old girl,
we're just not going to ask her about when she was
standing
an escort. We're just going to.
We're going to jump straight. I want to focus on the Starbucks. That's the thing that I'm more information on.
No, I mean, $5.
I set my own hours. Okay. I made my own rules. I didn't have a pimp. I worked for myself. I ran my own business. Mm-hmm. I charged what I want, and I was very much in control in the room. And like, no offense, but in this room, I was the only person that was in the room, and I know what that experience was, and it felt I felt powerful in a way that it's difficult to argue with.
I will say this about escorts and even on some level prostitution.
That's what escorting is.
Yeah, but I'm saying yes. I guess there's a fine line because there are escorts.
It's not a fine line. Like what I was doing was prostitution.
What you were doing, but I think there are also people who are paid dates.
Sure.
Things happen afterwards.
Sure.
So I will say this: for these high priced escorts,
yes,
the people that they're sleeping with, right? Maybe they would already sleep with these people in real life. Now, I'm not saying that they would have, you would or they wouldn't, right? But
no.
But there's something different between you choosing the person that you're willing to go on a date with and a pimp or somebody else choosing who you're going to go fuck.
That's a fucked up power dynamic. And I do want to say for the record
real quick, that's different than being in a porn where they say they choose what they want to do.
I believe her.
They say they choose, but reality is it's a competitive business.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a part of this competitive business, it doesn't matter if you don't like anal. You're going to get fucked in your ass.
I mean, it depends. It's kind of like how we as comedians,
get your pussy eaten by a girl.
We choose the event. Like we can always decide not to do a gig, right? Like as comedians, but it's also a competitive business where the more stage time you get, the better you get, and saying no to a booker is basically saying no to that booker for forever, and that's a risk you're willing to take. I think that porn stars deal with the same thing, but you can say no to gigs.
When you look up
you can, but not if you want any modicum of success.
Sure.
So if you do want success, you have to do these things. So
I would actually argue in porn it's different. It's kind of like being an actress, in that like if you say yes to enough shitty movies, like you're not going to get booked again. But if you're more selective with the work that you'll take, then I think it's different.
There's certain things that are required in pornography. For example, if you don't like swallowing, it's a big fucking deal. You're going to swallow some cum because that's the business that you're in. You can't go into porn and be like, you know what? Me personally, I like cuddling, and I just want to be.
So it's no empowerment, because the definition of empowerment is to give someone the authority or power to do something. It's somebody telling you. Empower to give someone the authority or power to do something. So I have to put you in this porno, unless you own the porn company.
Exactly.
The other definition, and the way that I'm talking about it, is to make someone stronger and more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights.
They don't control
That's
their
the
life.
I don't think that's true. If she didn't feel sexy and now she feels sexy, that's a form of empowerment. If she didn't feel like she had enough money to make choices in her life, and now she has enough money to make choices in her life, if she felt like I mean, she said things about the porn industry. Now, I believe in this case with the Dukes. Sure.
There's nothing empowering about feeling sexy because other people decide you're sexy. It is empowering to feel sexy because you find yourself beautiful. You have inner beauty. You have inner self-esteem. You have confidence. You have whatever you need inside. If you need to suck cock and get cummed on, and so other people fucking...
If it makes you feel sexy because it turns you on, then like, God bless America.
But if it turns you on that other people are liking it, it's false. That's going to go away.
After her appearance, what show was that? Piers Morgan or some shit?
Yeah.
I don't fucking remember. I guarantee you, after that appearance, and on her social media, she got dragged, and it was nothing that she felt confident about. I guarantee she felt embarrassed and ashamed after people held that mirror up to her and showed her who the fuck she really is.
I don't think so.
I guarantee. You haven't heard from her since?
I don't know. I mean, like, I can't speak to her experience. I can only talk about mine. And I do want to say that for the record, like, the difference between what I was doing in the sex industry and the difference between, like, women that are being abused by pimps or women that are trafficked is kind of like the difference between a trust fund kid starting or community organic farm and like a migrant farm worker. Like, our lives look really, really different. And I was coming to the industry from a place of privilege, but so was this woman. Like, she got to Duke University, which is a really good school.
Incredible. She's
got some kind of relationship with her parents. She's got a lot of options. She's choosing to go into the sex industry from a position of having a lot of options. And because of that,
relationship with her parents? I don't know.
Yeah, she talks about it.
Okay.
And so like because of that, I feel like she's coming to that decision from a place of like, I've looked at my options, I've made a decision to do that, versus somebody who goes into sex work out of a place of desperation, whether it be financial or psychological or whatever. And so, I mean, she made the choice and she says it's empowering and it turns her on. And who the hell are we?
Just because it's
Jesus,
not.
dude.
Her poor father, because think about it.
You can say that for every drug dealer.
On one end, I'm so happy that she got into Duke University, but then on the other, she sucks fucking cocks for a living. It's like, what the
You can't say it's not going to be bad for her dad.
Come on,
What
man.
dad would want that?
I mean,
you think her dad's going to be proud? Hey, that's my girl sucking that fucking dick.
Do you think that as adults,
he's tweeting
how much do we owe our parents? Like, are you making career choices? Are you making choices in order to make your parents happy? Are you making sexual choices?
My whole life, I was the guy that was going to jail and getting in trouble and wanted to make the lifestyle change. Yeah, I wanted to make the lifestyle change for my father and my mom to stop fucking embarrassing them.
Look, as a woman, I am more than my father's daughter and more than my husband's wife.
I cut it in class, right? I came home and I was so fucking embarrassed and sad. I walked up to her. I was like, Mom, I'm so sorry that I cut this sweatshirt that you gave me. I know that you guys, work hard so you can buy me some stuff. And I just want to let you know how fucking horrible I feel. No one told me I had to feel bad like that. It was ingrained. And I think it's ingrained in all of us that we want our parents to feel proud.
Sure.
And there's no way she was thinking, if I take cocks in my ass 2 at a time, my dad's going to be fucking proud of me.
But at some point, as adults, we have to make choices and live our lives. My parents probably would have preferred that I go to law school and become a lobbyist, but instead I'm doing comedy because I'm not living my life by my the way that my parents would have me. So is she.
She's 18 years old.
I'm making sexual choices that are different than the choices my father would have me make. And that's okay because it's my life and not his.
True.
And I am.
I have a daughter. She's 5 years old.
Okay.
And I already know that at some point in her life, she's going to suck a dick.
Sure.
Might be multiple dicks.
Sure.
Do I want her to do it? No. But it would be stupid of me to think that it's not going to happen. So your father knows that you're out here fucking.
But like what I'm saying is that the choices I made are different than the choices that my father would have me make. But my father wants me to live a life that makes me happy, and that his love is unconditional, and it's not conditional based on how many dicks I suck or what the condition.
Is unconditional. Dad's love is not unconditional.
I disagree. I have a different relationship with my parents than you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna always love my daughter, but I'm gonna be highly disappointed if she go out there and start sucking cocks and taking 2 up the asshole for checks on the porn.
The sexual conversation that I had with my dad when I was 13 was simple because my parents have a weird dynamic. My dad's really conservative and my mom's super liberal. My mom like hangs out with drag queens and was a Planned Parenthood activist and like whatever. Gotcha. And my dad was in the military for 30 years.
You think your dad blamed your mom when he heard about the escort shit?
He hasn't heard about the escort shit.
He doesn't know.
Neither of them do.
You got to make sure you get a copy of this.
Hold on one second. So then you can't say you're doing with what you want with your life, and it doesn't matter what they think if they don't know what you're doing with your life.
Yeah, I can. Here's the conversation.
Because the fact that they don't know means that you care about what they think, and the fact that you care about what they think means that you want to impress them.
And why you never brought that up at Sunday dinner?
Here's the turkey. Oh, I fucked this dude for $400.
Here's the conversation. When I was 13 years old, my dad lost an argument with my mother, probably about sex education or some shit. And he said, "Look, Kaytlin, I want to have this conversation. I only want to have it once, so pay attention. I understand that you're going to make choices that are different from the choices that I would have you make, and that's okay. I want you to know that if you're ever in any kind of trouble, you can always come to me. I'll always have your best interest at heart, and I will always love you. Also, if there's any way for you to prevent me from knowing that you're having any kind of sex, you should do that. Lie to me, whatever. I'm not gonna, and today, he doesn't come to my shows. He doesn't come to my shows because he wants to give me the freedom to say whatever the fuck I want, right? And so that's our covenant, right? He doesn't want to know, and so I don't tell him, but it hasn't stopped me from doing what I want. It hasn't stopped me from talking about it and owning that narrative. But there's a difference between like knowing that he will always love me and then torturing him with information he doesn't need.
I'm just like your father.
Right.
I know my daughter's going to suck a dick.
You just don't want to know about it.
I don't want to know about it.
Sure.
I might want to know about the first 1 or 2.
Especially if she's real young.
Yeah, if it's 15, 16, I need to know wait a minute now. We got to slow this dick sucking shit down until you get to a reasonable dick sucking age. All right?
Why is dick sucking so hard, Dad?
15 is too old, too young to be sucking dicks, baby. All right? You got to talk about this. So
you got to wait. 16. Sweet 16, man.
But you know what
Sweet
I wish?
For a reason.
You know what I do wish? I do wish that it was more situations that happened with men of like this, so you could see how men would react. Like I would look at a guy, a male porn star, sitting on TV saying porn is empowering, he's paying his way through school, the same way I would look at a woman. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. That's not empowering.
I don't know. I mean, like, we live in a capitalist society, and money talks.
More judgment towards the woman, though.
There's always more judgment. Always more judgment.
But I'm trying to
especially
see,
with this, like the thing that irritated me about the thing that you were talking about with this other porn star. No, it's this mother thing. It's like, she's a mother, therefore, and like, to me, all I'm hearing is Madonna whore complex. No. It's like, you cannot both be a whore and then also be a good mother. And I'm like, it's fucking complicated. It's just complicated.
That's not what that's about. And I'll give you an example.
I want to know more about this Madonna whore complex.
This past weekend, we'll talk
Olympic-sized pools worth of ink spilt on it. Like,
but here's the thing. This past weekend, I was talking to this couple at the beach. My folks own a house on the beach, right? And this guy was telling me how his son was in rehab, right? And it was a nice little hung. Listen. That's what happens, Charlamagne. Hey, listen. When you're white. Anyway, so we were out there just having some salmon. What is that? That's dried salmon shit called? I'm not white enough to know what it is. Lox. Oh shit. She gotta go. But real quick. So he's telling me about his son is in rehab, 17 years old. He's in rehab. He's having drug problems, etc. I'm like, oh my God, that's horrible. You know, I know what it's like. It's been fucked up. And later I find out that him and his wife are swingers, right? And they're fucking other people.
Sure.
The boyfriend of the wife, the side dude of the wife, is at the apartment, their house, right?
Sure.
And all this other shit. And
get to the fucking, man.
The point is this. I was like, yes, they're entitled to do that because that's their love and that's what they want to do. But they can't discredit how hard emotionally that must be for a child growing up with that, not only with them there, but also every person that he hangs out with going, oh, fuck. You know whose parents are cheating on each other and fucking? That's why that kid goes to drugs. That's why that kid uses.
You cannot make that link. The causality isn't fucking there because there are too many people in rehab whose parents are monogamously and happily fucking married. So like you just can't make that goddamn connection. No, I'm sorry. I reject that logic.
There might be other things there, but you're stupid to not admit it. She has to leave.
I have to leave, but I'm not accepting your label as stupid, and I reject your logic. And I think you get
my
it.
label is smart.
On why that doesn't make any sense.
I don't get the connection.
This has been really fun, guys. I'd love to come back and continue the conversation. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you for coming to talk to us about feminism.
Yeah.
And
all this good stuff.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
So basically my point with that is that how do you not see the connection? And how could you not see how that's hard? And just like with Mimi, how could she not see that it's hard that her kid is going to have to grow up knowing that, her mom was fucking on camera and all her friends were seeing her fuck on camera? I think that's hard. I think living that life is fucking hard on a kid who's 16 years old, 15 years old. That's fucking difficult to do. So it's like, you can't discredit that. You can't say that doesn't fuck a kid up who's already dealing with anxiety, already dealing with growing up, and it's difficult, and he's trying to fuck girls and all this shit. You know what I mean? It's like, that's hard.
Listen, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
The Hollywood Reporter just tweeted out an article, right? Maya Angelou dead. Oprah, Obama, Beyonce among those paying tribute, right? And it talks about how Mary J. Blige and J.K. Rowling have shared these quotes, and Oprah shared these quotes, Mary J. Blige. Then it goes, still, among those lightening up the mood, online was radio host Charlamagne the God, a.k.a. Leonard McKelvey, who noted that the endlessly quotable Angelou has changed his life in a specific way. All these chicks going to be Googling Maya Angelou quotes all day and realizing those deep words I text them in the AM aren't mine. And it goes, and the President Barack Obama also weighed in.
That's not bad.
Shout out to the Hollywood Reporter. That is amazing. Listen, I don't know what else to talk about, man. Let's go to some Asking Idiots, because that rape shit drained me.
It was hard, man.
It's going to be a lot of people tweeting.
You know who else that rape shit probably drained?
Who?
Her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit was real.
In a way, that's kind of a defense mechanism to make a light. I just don't see no way of making light of rape. Like, I
don't think she was making light of it.
Yeah, but she was making it. You can't compare rape to regular assault. And I didn't want to harp on it too much with her because she is a woman and it is a sensitive topic and she's entitled to feel any way she feels. But if my daughter got mugged and got her purse stolen and she was depressed about it, I'd be like, okay, get the fuck over it. It's a purse. You get a new purse, you get a new ID. I can't get your pussy back. I can't. I mean, you still got your pussy,
but
I
that's
can't
her
get
argument.
what he took from him.
But that's her argument. Her argument is we sensationalize what it is that they take. Is there anything being taken? But
yes.
Furthermore, this is to what we were talking about, which is people choose to deal with and justify things in different ways.
Let me ask you a question. If you got raped by a man right now, say it's a guy like Mike Tyson and another guy like Bing
I thought
Rames.
I was going to get raped once.
Okay, well, listen, you really do physically get raped. Will you ever be the same man again?
Yeah.
No, you won't.
I mean, what am I going to say I won't?
Because you know you won't.
But why wouldn't I?
Pulp Fiction.
Listen, I might be a little bit. I might be a little bit more homophobic. That might happen. I might be a little bit more. I might be a little bit more. You know what I mean? That might be some real shit. But like, it might change my views.
And nobody would be mad at you.
And listen, because then
the
you
first
could
time
say
somebody calls you homophobic, I got raped. Okay, I got held down and fucked in my ass.
I know what it's like to take a dick.
Okay, right? Yes. Like, whoa.
Back off, buddy.
Listen, do you remember Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Bing Rames got raped in his ass and Bruce Willis came to save him.
Zed.
The realest
Zed was giving it to Ring.
Realest comment ever said.
Zed was buried in that shit.
In a movie to me. Like, because I like my movies to be based on reality.
Yeah.
Bruce goes, how are you, buddy? Ving goes, I'm pretty fucked up. Are you going to be all right? Nah, I ain't going to be all right. Okay? Like, that's the realest shit. So I'm not going to sit here and act like if I got raped, I'm supposed to just bounce back.
All right, but what if you got raped and you came?
I don't think that's possible. That is not funny, Schulz. It's not funny. You're making light of rape. It's not funny.
What if that happened?
This is not funny.
What if that happened
this
to you?
Is not funny.
But what happened if that? What would you feel? Why are you looking through the newspaper like you're gonna find something?
I would be wondering why I came through my ass.
Say what?
I'd be wondering why I came out my ass.
No, you came through your dick.
But all I'm saying is, she chooses to deal with her situation the way she chooses to deal with it. But she can't just tell every other woman, hey, you should just get over it.
All right, we got to do an Ask an Idiot before we leave.
All right. Julius Curving says, have you guys considered live podcasting, or is that too complicated at the moment or not possible? But we're going to do some live stuff. We're going to, touch some stages at some colleges or, some comedy clubs and do it live. We're definitely going to do that. But Chili's has a good one, Andrew Schulz. He clearly doesn't know that you're faking your Jewish thing. You're not really Jewish. He says,
what is this?
He says, hey, how do I get me some Jewish friends? Because I need some bad.
He says, how do you get Jewish friends?
Yes, because he needs some bad.
Why do you? First of all, I would wonder why you need Jewish friends. I think, is it a black dude?
Yes, he is black.
I knew it was a black dude.
Yes, he's black.
Because black dudes have this idea, like black dudes mysticize Jewish people. They literally think like if they're around a Jewish person, you touch them, that they'll start to like turn to gold or something like that. Like,
that's kind of like how my life has been.
God.
Honestly.
No, I know the way you.
No, this has really worked for me though. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know it has worked for you, but like the less contact with Jews a black guy's had, the more they, what is it? Mythologize? Is that it?
Mythical. Yeah, it's something to do with mythical.
Hold on, how many F's did you just put in that?
It's something to do with mythical.
Yeah, whatever. Like the mythology that goes along with it. Like, for example, the way Duval talks about Jewish people, it's like, oh my God, Jewish people, they have this secret potion that they drink on Hanukkah, the 8th day of Hanukkah, and all of a sudden you get TV shows and careers, and you should have seen Kevin Hart has been invited to that Hanukkah party so many times, and that's why I don't
know what you're talking about. This is all true. Okay, I would like to thank every Jewish person in my life.
Some Jewish people just work at B&H selling cameras.
Well,
okay,
that
is a possibility.
But we're not talking about them. We're talking about
Jewish
the ones.
People just own a taxi. Maybe they drive a taxi. Some Jewish people are an accountant.
But
you know what
we're
I mean?
not talking about them. We're talking about the ones that have helped and continue to help my career.
And God bless those Jewish people.
God bless you. I appreciate you. Yeah. And clearly, Andrew Schulz needs more Jewish people in his life.
Obviously.
Now,
absolutely.
Muhammad Salih says, can we ever stop self-victimization in the hood and start caring about personal responsibility? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Wait, what is it?
He says, can we ever stop self-victimization in the hood and start caring about personal responsibility? Let me be clear about something. Black people, especially niggas, are never going to take responsibility for their own actions. It is never going to be we need to put the guns down. We need to stop killing each other. It's going to always be, it's because of the white man putting the guns in the hood, and the white man gave the community crack, and it's going to always be the system and the white man's fault. We will never take personal self-responsibility.
But I think that's any oppressed people. I mean, if you look at what she was talking about today, she's talking on behalf of women. She was saying, you know, we need to stop treating women this way, and people need to stop acting like women do this, and women need more power, more sexual agency. There's always going to be an excuse, and look, the people that succeed, you want people to make excuses, okay? You want excuse makers because that's one less person you need to compete with. It's the people who don't make excuses in life are the people you need to be worried about because they're about to go to the fucking top. The people who don't make any excuses, that's the guy you're competing with. That's the guy that you're going after, and he's the guy who's going to be trying to take your job at the top, no holds barred. It's the people that make excuses. Be grateful for them. Thank the excuse makers because they're making your ride to success so much easier.
Hold on, I got me a Maya Angelou. Listen, just like it's a Jay-Z song for every situation, it's a Maya Angelou quote for every situation.
I just want to make a statement real quick that my tweet was featured on what is it? What is that show this morning? Stephen A. Smith and what is their show again?
I've done that so many times.
What is their show?
First Take.
First Take. Stephen A. Smith. My tweet was featured on First Take this morning. I'm just saying that. You know what I mean? While Charlamagne was tweeting about Maya Angelou and side pussy, I was on something important. Do you know what I mean?
Shout out to Carrie Champion, my homie.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How you know Carrie?
My girl. We cool.
Yeah, you cool?
Listen, Maya Angelou says, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. That is Maya Angelou, dog. Maya Angelou, let me read it one more time. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. So what Andrew Schulz said is absolutely just right. Now, another Ask an Idiot.
That's really weird. Read that one more time.
Oh, shit.
If you don't like something.
If you don't like something, change it.
Change it.
If you can't change it, change your attitude. Don't complain.
That's easy to say, but imagine you tried to apply that to getting raped.
The truth, though.
What, you're getting raped? If you don't like it, change your attitude. Just start going, yeah, this ain't that bad.
No. After dealing,
this is okay. Let me just take this dick. I might as well.
No. Listen, you always
harder.
Listen, this is a great quote.
Okay.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Some things are out of your control. You can fight. You can do whatever. If the person rapes you, they rapes you. But it's how you deal with it after the fact.
Okay.
And it's
after the fact.
It's like you can't change it. You can't change the fact that you got raped. It happened.
I get that.
You do what this young lady did. She changed her attitude towards it. And some people do it in different ways. Some people internalize it, as they should, and say, look, I'm not going to be defined by this, but I am going to help other women get through it. Because I have experience. So they become rape counselors, or they raise awareness about young girls getting raped, whatever. People handle it in different ways. So I think that's what they mean when they say change your attitude. Like, I think basically she's saying, just don't be a victim. You were a victim, but don't continue to be a victim. You were a victim, but it's up to you if you choose to still be a victim. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, I dig it. I dig it.
That's what I think.
Okay, I take it.
Hold on, let's read one more Ask an Idiot before we get the fuck up out of here. Let me see. Go. All right. Worm Skeet 1 says, if you caught your wife in bed with another woman, do you join or make a big deal about it?
What? Do you join? Hold on.
First of all, he's acting like he has the option to join. They didn't want you there. They didn't invite you.
Yeah, exactly. If they wanted you to be fucked, you would have got a text instead of the text you did get, which was, you going to be home late? You're not showing up today? Yeah, I mean, look, if they allow you to join,
you join.
And you know what? Out of punishment to your wife, you have to give the other girl the nut.
You got to do what?
You got to give the other girl the nut. You know what I mean? Like when you finish with the other girl and you make a sound you've never made with your wife. Make a sound, just go, ah. And then your wife later, she's going to be making you like a juice or something like that. She'll be like, what was that sound you made while you nutted? And then you were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like you went, ah. You know what I mean? And then you'd be like, yo, she had something in that pussy that made me hit that high note.
Yeah.
She had high note pussy.
You make her feel bad. I bet you won't never bring no other girls in this bedroom again, huh?
Exactly.
I don't know what to tell you, dog. If you catch your girl in bed with another woman,
you got to act upset. Act upset, and then the only way that you can feel better is if you get a double dick suck.
You know what? Flipping on her and be like, why would you hide this from me?
Yeah.
I don't mind you fucking with another girl. It's the other dicks I got a problem with.
What if the girl was big? What if she had hairy ass legs and big old clit, like a hangy clit?
Doesn't matter if it's not a dick.
Really?
Nope. Even though clits are little dicks.
Clits are little dicks.
So if you ever put your mouth on a clit, you suck the little dick.
Did you know that that's what a dick becomes?
What?
Like everybody starts out as a woman in the womb, right?
Yeah.
And then testosterone masculinizes the brain.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the thing that
absolutely.
testosterone masculinizes to turn the vagina into a dick, it takes the clit and turns that into a dick.
Yeah.
So every time you're licking a clit, you're flipping your little tongue on the clit.
You're sucking a little dick.
You are tonguing down a cock.
Yeah, listen, Dr. Oz told us that. That's why I
What'd
tell
he
every guy. He told us basically that the clitoris is a little penis.
Yeah.
So if you've ever had a clit
And
in
I
your
love
mouth, fellas,
sucking that little dick.
You sucked a little dick talk.
Dick segment. You thought we were gonna miss it?
Let's
you
talk
thought we
about
weren't gonna have any dick
Let's
segments?
talk about all you guys out there who sucked a little dick.
We all suck some little dicks.
We've all
in our
sucked some
day.
dick.
Enjoyed it.
I'm talking about you heterosexual guys who lay down with your women, put your mouth on that clit and think you're doing something so straight. Actuality, you're sucking a little penis.
That's right. You sucking the egg.
You had a little cock in your mouth.
And you enjoy it. And we all fucking love it.
We like you like sucking dick, don't you?
Yeah, you like, I wish this shit was bigger.
Oh, and if your woman's a squirter,
if
your woman's a squirter, you got fucking nutted on. You suck some dick and you got nutted on.
You got nutted on like a champion.
It's okay.
And you feel proud
That's
about
right.
that. All right?
Embrace it.
Wear it on your neck.
Especially all you homophobic people, embrace the fact that you sucked a little dick.
Any homophobic dude, remember, every time you go down on your girl,
you sucking a little dick.
You sucking that dick.
So guess what you and every homosexual in America have in common?
Dick sucking.
Yeah, now you want equality, don't you?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna stop judging us.
How are you gonna judge them? How are you gonna judge them for being able to take more dick than you? That's fucked up. You should applaud them. You can't take no dick. All you got is that little tiny ass centimeter long dick. You know, a real man takes a big old dick.
All right. And scene. That was our show for the day. Thank you very much. What's the young lady name?
Kaytlin Bailey.
Kaytlin Bailey.
Yeah,
she got a Twitter?
I think it's Kaytlin Bailey.
At Kaytlin Bailey. She's a survivor. What the fuck are you laughing at, man?
Yo,
Don't
you
make
ain't
me laugh.
shit. You ain't
I'm
shit.
serious.
Don't blame me.
That's
you know
fucked
exactly
up.
why
She's
you
a
said
fucking
that.
survivor. That
You're
is so fucked up.
fucking stupid.
That is so fucked up
You're
that you
a
would
piece
laugh
of
at.
shit.
I'm
You
not
know
even
that?
laughing at that. That is so fucked up.
You know, we have video of this.
That's fucked
and
up.
I'm going to put out the video.
That's fucked
I'm going
up.
to put out the video and it shows you smirking
fucked up.
right before you say it. Because this is what you do. Right before you say a joke, what you do is you start like, your lips start tapping
That is
together.
fucked up,
They go.
You're always making light of things that shouldn't be made light of.
I am.
Yes.
That's the first thing you ask her. Oh, you got raped?
Listen, go to the world.
You cool to talk about that
go
shit?
Go to Ticketmaster and get tickets for the World Star Hip Hop Comedy Show. It's going down August 23rd at the Foxwoods Casino.
That's
Andrew
right.
Schulz is on that show. I'm hosting. James Davis, Michael
Che, Byron Bowers.
And I swear, for the longest, I thought Michael Che was Asian, by the way.
No, he's not.
I did for the longest until I'm like, where is the guy? Where's Michael Che? I keep looking at the flyer like, oh, this is Michael Che. I had no idea.
Why? Because Che is an Asian name?
I thought it was. It's
I mean,
not.
the most famous Che is actually from Argentina.
I had no idea.
It's okay.
I don't know anybody from Argentina.
Brilliant idiots.
Okay,
Brilliant idiots. You don't know Che Guevara?
Never heard of. Oh, he's like a mythical figure, right?
No, he's the guy that invented spinners.
Don't they wear him on T-shirts and shit?
Yeah, he was the guy who invented the rims to spin.
Didn't Jay-Z wear him on a T-shirt for the MTV?
Yeah, because he
Unplugged?
invented the spinner, but he also invented some other shit. Like he was the first person to wear rose gold.
Word, son.
Yeah.
Che Guevara, no doubt.
Yeah,
I know his cousin Eddie, too. He was a wrestler.
Eddie
Great
Guevara.
guy.
Yeah.
Dope.
Great family. Powerful family. Yeah.
Anything you want to plug?
And he also had the line of like wood sticks that the Jamaicans would chew.
Oh, that the Jizza used to chew on from Wu-Tang.
Yeah. So like, that's what he did. Che Guevara. Like he's really, inspirational.
Oh, you say Guevara, not Guerrero.
No, not Guerrero.
Oh, my bad. He's not related.
But I know how those have two of the same letters, so it might be hard for you to think that I was going to say.
Got you. Oh, yeah, Che Guevara. He's on all the T-shirts.
Yeah.
I know.
He invented spinners.
I don't believe you, but go ahead.
He did. Look it up. Look up Che Guevara spinners. I mean, he also, basically liberated Cuba. But besides that, he was just making rims.
I'm American. Why would I know what's going on in Cuba?
That's a good point.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
You got anything you want to plug?
Yeah. Make sure you watch Guy Code and Jobs That Don't Suck every Wednesday starting at 11.
On MTV2?
On MTV2. Yeah. And keep on, thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and make sure you keep on checking out the videos. I know everybody's asking for the full-length video. everybody keeps asking, post the full-length video.
Why would we do that and fucking take away from people listening on iTunes?
Exactly. We want you to listen. So, but we're gonna work on it. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Big things in the future. So
if we get girls with
it.
titties in hair and they want to show them, we'll definitely put that on.
Word. So if you got titties and you want to show them, contact us.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make it happen.
That's right. And as always, man, if you listen to this show today and you learn something and you think we're brilliant, you're right. But if you listen to this show and you're disgusted and you think that we're idiots, hey, you're right too.
Absolutely.
It's the Brilliant Idiots. Thank you for joining us this week. See you next week.